You worked hard on your website and content, you even have GA4 and Tag Manager running. Everything works except for the one metric you need, revenue. The good news is that if you are just selling a few products, you can create a sales dashboard using Looker Studio without changing your current setup. Let's see how. Now here you can see that we actually have our revenue data showing. This can be broken down by campaigns, also our top most profitable regions. You can also see sales trends, our top traffic sources and devices. We also have here a 3-step funnel that can help you improve your customer journey. In fact, I'll walk you through this funnel right now. We are here on a website that is selling 2 different programs. Users can come here and then select one of them, like the strength training program. By clicking on the button, they will then land on this landing page where they can learn more about the product. In fact, this landing page or our offer page will be the first step of our funnel because it will let us know that users are actually aware of this offer. If they show any interest, they will then click on this button, which will lead them to this product page, which will be the second step of our funnel, letting us know that they are probably considering buying our product. And here, they will then start the buying process, which I'll take you through very quickly. Let's proceed to checkout. I've already filled in my details, so we'll place the order. And now we are reaching the last step of the funnel, the third step, which is the thank you page, where the conversion actually occurred. And typically this is where the issue lies, because you would want to essentially grab this transaction data and send it to GA4. Now, to be fair, you can do it with data layer pushes by scraping the DOM or using a JavaScript code to return the price and see it appear in your GA4 reports. But with Looker Studio, you don't need to make any changes. But before we go ahead, just be mindful that this is not a replacement for e-commerce. In fact, you will miss out on some of the powerful e-commerce features GA4 offers related to shopping behavior. That being said, the main advantage of using Looker Studio is that it has great flexibility and clear visual cues. You can break down your data almost any way you want. You can apply changes to your numbers, and you won't have to wait hours or even days before seeing the results appear in your reports. You can track progress and view everything the way you want in a graphical manner to quickly spot conversion opportunities all in one place. Now let's jump into Looker Studio to see how to build this report. At this moment, we are in the report editor and we already have a banner set up and are also connected to a data source. If you are unfamiliar with this process, just make sure to look at one of our videos on how to build dashboards using Looker Studio. The first step here will be to show revenue data, and for this we can use a calculated field. Go to your data source and hover over the icon, click on the pencil icon to edit the data source, and here click on add a field. I'll rename my field and we'll use a good naming convention. I like to use cal to remind myself that this is a calculated field. Let's call this revenue. Now for the formula, what we'll use here is the total number of users times the price of our product. So we'll use total users metric times the price of our product. And this would later on be used with filters to make sure that we're looking at the right number of users. Click Save and click Finish. The second step now will be to use filters. And because we do not want to just have numbers for all our data, but the numbers for the users who have actually landed on our landing page and those users who have been on the second step, so who have considered our program, and then also the number of users who have actually made a purchase. To create a filter, go to Resource and Manage Filters. You can see I already have a few in place, but I'll show you how to build one from scratch. Go to Add a Filter. Name your filter. This filter will be for those who have actually landed on our landing page and who are aware of our product. Keep Include. We'll select a field and here I'll use the page path. The condition will be starts with, and here we'll paste a value. And I'll paste the page path of our landing page, which will be the following. I'll just come here and just grab the page path right after the host name. Copy, and here just paste it for the value, and then click Save. Now just repeat the process for the other funnel steps. Now here for name, you can name it anything you want. You can be step 1, step 2, step 3. This is really up to you. Let's add some charts. And first I'd like to look at the top regions in terms of revenue. Let's go to add a chart and let's add a table. I'll change this with country. For the record, I'll remove record count and let's use total users. And also here we now see our revenue metric that we created earlier. And I'll bring this here. I'll now also remove the pagination and row numbers. Go to style and just remove them here by unselecting. Good. Let's resize our column, fit to data. I'll just resize this a bit. I'll rename also my metrics, and you can simply go to the pencil icon here in metric. Change this to revenue. Let me remove the data panel, and now we'll add a filter to this chart. Scroll down and click add a filter, and we'll apply the filter for our thank you page to look at only the revenue data for these regions that have actually converted. Now duplicate this table, and now we'll change the style into a geochart. So go here in chart and select geochart. Great. Now this is dummy data, so we don't have much data. Here you go. Let's recreate now this section where we have our revenue data, some metrics, and also most importantly, our funnel steps. Let's add a shape, go to more, click shape, and just click and drag. Alright, I'll change the background color, go to custom, and here just paste this hex number. Let's change the border radius, I'll go for 40, and we'll also add, back to background, we'll add some gradient. Go to gradient, click on this last point here, and come here, and we'll change this into white. Let's change the angle to 90 degrees, click done. Alright, let's add some shape again. So we'll just use a black shape, change the background color, border radius maybe to 30. And now let's build our funnel steps. Add some text. This will be for the first step landing page. Let's change the text color, and let's bring this right here. Now let's bring in a scorecard. To add a chart, we add a scorecard. I'll also change the color. And here, we will also apply our filter, and we'll use the landing page filter, which is the first step. Go to style, and I'll just center them all and hide the metric name. Great. Now I'm simply gonna duplicate what we have just built 2 times. Here you go. Then we'll change also the name of our steps and also the filters applied to these metrics. Here I'll use a different filter, so I'll go to setup and I'll select the consideration filter, and here we'll use the conversion filter or the thank you page for those who land on our thank you page. Great. Let's add our arrows. So go to image, and I have already downloaded them, and we'll place our arrows right here. One for this step, duplicate it, and one for the other. Now, one metric important to optimize our funnel is the conversion rate. And for this, we'll use data blending. So, from the landing page to the consideration page, first select the second metric, and then use your Control key button and select the first step. Then right-click, and then click on Blend Data. And here's your conversion rate for this step. I'm going to style this up and go for 18 pixel. And now, still in style, and we'll use conditional formatting. Now, to give you an example, let's say that our business tends to have a conversion rate of 10% for this particular step. Now, anything less or that equals 9% of the and that is less than 9% will need our attention for improvement. So you can go here to add, and here we'll select a condition, and I'll go for less than or equal to, and here I'll put 9, which would be 9%. Scroll down, and for our notification color, we'll use the red color. And here you go, and we have this color because we are under 9%. Now let's add this here, and voila. Now you can definitely style this up, but I'll just proceed to the next step. Now for the last step, we'll then again use the last step, select this metric from the conversion step, and the step that precedes it, use the Control key button, select it, right click, and blend your data. Here you go, we have our number here, go to style, and I'll reduce the pixels to 18. There you go, and we have now our conversion rates. Now to style up our scorecards, I will add a sparkline, and again, you don't have really to do this. And one important note is never use data blending for your conversion rates or for anything else if you have these sparklines on, because this will skew your numbers. So select your scorecard, and here in the setup, go to sparkline, and let's use date, and let's increase this a little so we can see our trends a bit better. Here you go. Go to style, and I'll change the color, and let's fill this so we can have some density, and I'll change the color to green, and do the same for the other scorecards. Great. Now let's add some metrics here and we'll add our revenue data. Go to chart. I'll use the scorecard with compact numbers. Let's paste this here. I'll increase the font size, go to style to maybe like about 60. Alright, change the labels, white. Let's go back to setup and here go to the pencil icon for in your metric and let's rename this to revenue. Again, this is a very high number and it is a sample data set, but this does not reflect actually the truth, so we need to apply again a filter. So scroll down and add your filter from your conversion filter. Those have landed on your thank you page. Here you go. Now let's add some metrics and we're gonna look again. I'd like to see the total number of users who have been on our landing page. Let me style this up quickly and I'll just center everything. Change the color. And here we'll look at total users instead. Total users. Apply your filter only for those who've been on the landing page. Now let's duplicate this. Here now, typically I will use the engagement rate metric to see how users are engaged on my page, but here I do not have it unfortunately, so I'll be using just views. And now I'd like to also have the overall conversion rate for our entire funnel. For this, select the last step and then divide it by the first step. Again, last time, if you remember, I've mentioned to you that you should not do this with the sparklines added. So I'll just proceed and we'll come back with the number here. So here I have them duplicated without the sparkline. Select the last step with the first step and then right click and blend your data. Here's our overall conversion rate. Let's delete this. Change the color to white, text color, font color, there you go. And we can read this here. Let's also rename it, go to metric, and we'll use total conversion rate. Now let's add some charts to break down our data. But first actually, let me use a shape, just a rectangle. Here you go, click and drag. Now let's copy paste this. I'll just duplicate, right click, duplicate. Let's bring this over here. I'll move this around a bit, duplicate this one as well. Then select them all, right click here on the white part of the canvas, click and drag. And now here, let's change their background color, so this gray color. Then let's change the border radius and let's go for 25. Now let's add in some data and I'll go to chart and I'm interested to look at some trends. I'll use the time series chart. Now here, this is up to you. Typically, you could look at the trend for your revenue. Here, I'll be looking at total users, but what's very important for you to remember is to actually use the filters that we have created. So filter this either by the total number of users that have been on your landing page or one of your funnel steps, or the filter for your conversion step. Let's style this up. Go to style and I'll change the background color to white. Let's remove our grid colors. Let's go for transparent. Back to setup. Click on revenue. Total users. Back to style. And I'll change the series color to this green here. Much better. And then let's change the border radius. Let's go for 20. Again, remember to add your filters. So here we'll add the filter for those who have been on our landing page. Let's add some text. Change the font color to white. And there you have it. Let me increase the size of our series. I'll go for maybe line weight. Let's go for 3. More visible. Now I'll do the exact same thing for our traffic sources. This time we'll just add a table and we'll add views and total users. And then by now you should know how to design all this, so I'll just skip this step. And for now we are here and I have just removed the filter so that you can see how this would actually look in real life. Here you can see that there's a list of different traffic sources and this is something that you should have. But because we are using actually a dummy dataset with the filter, we only have one traffic sources, which is Google Organic. Now let's move on to add devices. Go to add to chart. Let's go with the donut chart. Change the dimension to device category. Great. Back to style. Manage dimension value colors. And for desktop, I'll use a green color here. And for mobile, I'll use maybe, here you go. and I'll just remove the legend, none. Okay, size, and voila. I'll actually add back the legend, maybe this one, correct. Let's change the background color, set it to white. Let's change the border radius to 25, and let's resize all this. And here we go. Now, two things left to do is to add a date range control and also add like a filter control so that we can break down our data by our campaigns. Let's go to add control. Let me toggle this, add a control. Let's use the date range control and I'll paste it here. Let's go to style and we'll change the date range picker color to white. Let's also change the border radius to 25 and also change the border color to white. Now let's add another control. This will be the drop down list. Let's put it here and let's use the same style. Text to white, the border radius to 25, and then the border color to white as well. Let's go back to setup and let's change the dimension from country to session campaign. And for the metric, you can use revenue, but I'll use total users, or in fact, you can also remove the metric as well. And here you have it. Alright, so now we have a sales dashboard that shows us our revenue data that can be broken down by regions, by also different campaigns. Like let's say I was just selecting this campaign here, you can see how numbers change. You can use also different date ranges and also broke it down by your traffic sources and your devices. Thank you for watching and see you next time.